Hi, Shelby.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. We're going to talk about deposits today because I've had a few clients ask me the question, and I realize that not everyone knows what a deposit is for and what it means, and that they might not know everything that they need to know about what could happen or what it's
Yeah.
So if you're a buyer, you're putting an offer on a house, and usually they're like, well, I don't really know how much to put for an offer, which is something you discuss with your realtor if you have a realtor. But it's important to know that the deposit is there and will be usually deducted from like your down payment amount and stuff at closing.
Provided at closing it'll be deducted.
Right.
And you can use it towards your down payment with the bank, provided there is a paper trail for your deposit. So if it came from cash under a mattress, cannot be used as towards your down payment.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the bank.
Depending on the bank,
sometimes they'll want to see it in your bank statements, but anyways, we'll figure it out worst case if that happens. But usually I like to discuss a little bit about like down payment stuff with the clients before, just to explain what we need to see and not to transfer money everywhere.
Exactly. Because then you got to send me statements for every bank account that money went through, and you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah. So we'll try to keep it simple. But so one of the most important things that I feel like people don't know is, so the deposit is there to show how, like basically, well, in good faith, but like showing how much, how serious you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like your offer. And so sometimes they'll ask to up the deposit, like when you're negotiating. And so what happens is that it's usually refundable, like whatever it says on your purchase and sale contract, which most of them will say it's refundable if you either aren't satisfied with the inspection, if you have an inspection condition, and also like financing. So if you, for whatever reason, you can't get the approval or whatever, if anything falls through before your financing date, then you get your deposit back if you gave it already.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes
some people give it when they do the offer.
Right.
Some people only give it when they confirm financing. It's different for everybody. Some places are going to want it right away. The realtors want to hold it in trust for you.
Right. And like never give it to, let's say it's a private sale.
Yeah, don't give it to the seller
Give it to the seller. Like it's always
it goes
in
to
trust.
their lawyer. Exactly.
Right. So, or the real estate company, they'll tell you if there's a realtor involved, but it's never like, here's the money. You don't give it like to the seller or whatever. So it's always in trust.
And it's always a bank draft. They ask for it as a bank draft 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Because the lawyers...
They do e-transfers now.
Oh, they do.
But it's, I mean,
Yeah.
So
E-transfer bank draft is what they're going to be looking for. They probably don't want you to come with $1,000 cash in hand.
Usually, no. And I mean, I've seen that happen. They just wrote a receipt.
It's
just, it's better to have.
They probably just don't want to carry the $1,000 cash themselves because they're not a cash register. They're not carrying petty cash.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's probably better to just send it so you can keep have a paper trail. So the most important thing you need to know is if ever something falls through on your purchase and sale. So like if you're buying the house, your closing date's in a month or 2 months. You already satisfied your financing, your inspection, insurance condition, whatever conditions you had on the offer. If you've like satisfied all these things, and then for whatever reason you decide not to go ahead with it. So if you want to back out from buying that property, the sellers are going to keep that deposit. That's what it's for. Basically, that's to make sure that if something falls through after the fact, like
they're not losing time and money.
They're
being compensated for the time that was lost.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what the amount is for, which means you should never put like a huge deposit, more than what you're willing to lose, basically, as a deposit. So like, consider that if they're like negotiating the deposit amount when you're like doing your negotiations, just keep that in mind. Like, how much are you willing to actually put in?
Put down as a deposit on the offer. Are you willing to put down 5%? That can be quite a large chunk of change depending on what your purchase price is. If you're purchasing a house at $200,000, do you really need to put down $10,000 for your deposit on offer?
Actually, I've seen
people do that, but
I've seen people do that and they had no idea. And like a few times it was like refundable.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. It's like, what do you...
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that I don't suggest ever doing that.
No.
Especially not before you check for your financing.
Yeah.
Before you have an actual approval, like all that stuff. I would never do it like non-refundable. But that's me.
I also wouldn't put down that much money as a deposit on an offer unless you absolutely, like, there was no other way to get this property or it's a very high priced property. I have had a client before where they had, you know, an amount for the deposit on offer. I think it was like $2,000. And then they had to go back and do negotiations because they found out the roof needed to be done. And they didn't want to repair the roof themselves, so they had the sellers repair the roof. But in order for the sellers to repair the roof, they asked for a larger deposit on offer.
Right.
In case it falls through, that way at least they can pay for the roof repair. So in that case, it went from $2,000 up to $10,000.
Okay.
But it was also on a purchase of nearly $300,000. So
right. Yeah. So I mean, it's just like to make sure it makes sense and that you're comfortable with it and that you know what it means and what's at stake if ever like
if it falls apart or
and at what point you're at during the purchase stage, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to say is that I think I saw like a few months ago, was it last year? I think it was last year. There's certain places where they actually asked for 5% down or 5% deposits.
Really?
And they said, like the realtor said,
oh my God,
all of the realtors like would do that.
Oh, I don't know.
Like
what
in
place
that
it
area,
is.
it's in New Brunswick.
Oh.
Yeah. And they
I had a
they
client
said
out
it was,
in I feel like Sussex area, St. John area, Grand Bay Westfields.
it was
5%.
It was St. John.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And they said that it was just the
that was the norm for the
that
that community.
I was like, really? It's so close from here, and I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So
most of the deposits
like,
on offer that we see are like $1,000, $2,000, sometimes $500, depending on the value of the property, and
maybe $3,000, like if it's a higher, like $300,000, or
exactly.
Like
then it might be like a little bit more, but usually it's not a huge amount that they're asking for. Not out here. I know in other places, like in Ontario, for example, your deposit on offer is normally like $10,000.
Really?
Yeah, big ones.
Yeah. So it depends where you are, but in Moncton or like I mean, generally most of New Brunswick that I've seen, it's not like
it's
huge
fairly
amounts.
Conservative amounts.
So, anyways,
that was our 2 cents.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to share today. So hopefully that helps. And if you have other questions, you can put them in the comments.
Yeah, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yeah, so have a good day.
Yes, thank you. Nice quick one for you.
Yahoo! Bye.